Hey everybody, this is TJR.
And this is Superfan.
And we're back with part 8 of Live Aid, as broadcast on the YouTube Live Aid channel. With this one here, we actually missed Santana.
Yeah.
He was omitted. He came after Pretenders, which we talked about in the last segment. Santana appeared and did a 5-song set.
Yeah.
And
with Pat Metheny.
Yeah, special guest star Pat Metheny, and that's just not there, which is a shame, an absolute shame. I love Carlos Santana. I think he's an amazing guitarist, and he's had a big influence on my guitar playing as well. Sadly, that's not there. Instead, this episode picks up on the second half of the performance by Ashford and Simpson. They only did 2 songs, but they pick up from their second track where they introduce Teddy Pendergrass, who had been in a car accident, a really bad car accident a few years prior. And this was his first time performing.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair and remained so for the rest of his life. He had not performed anywhere since the accident. So this was the first time since the accident. So it's a very high emotional moment. And they performed the track Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. Again, I'm not sure why half the performance, I mean, it's only 2 songs. I mean, why half the performance, not the whole performance? Who knows? Rights issues, who knows?
It also may have been technical difficulties in that the quality of the performance.
I guess, but there was that one moment that occurred with I think it was Simple Minds, yeah, where the ending of their performance had technical issues. So instead they cut to an interview. Of course, they maybe can't do that with everybody, but I would think they could, give us some kind of an explanation. But at any rate, though, so we got the second half, though. And this is followed up by a performance by Kool and The Gang. It is live, but it's not at Live Aid. And I don't know if it's being simulcast live during that or if it was pre-recorded.
I think it was a pre-recorded live performance.
It is a live performance. There's an audience there. But suddenly it's like, I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. This can't be...
It can't be Philadelphia because it's still light there.
Yeah. It's getting dark. It was already getting dark
in the UK.
But it didn't look like the UK stage. It just didn't look like it. And they just do the song. I think it's called "Cherish the Love."
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going off the chorus. I'm pretty sure that's the title of the song. They, of course, were the only American artist that appeared on "Do They Know It's Christmas?"
Yeah, and they just happened to be in the UK.
Yeah, on tour at the time. And because I forget what the story was, but there was like a mutual record label involved with somebody that was going to be doing the Do They Know It's Christmas and them, and said, hey, we're doing this. And they said, yeah, we'll be there and we'll show up. What the heck? And so they did. And they were on that record. Just a little bit of trivia regarding all that. But and they do a nice rendition of the song. I actually was sorry there wasn't more, honestly, because I mean, like, yes, that was a nice 80s ballad, but when you think of all just the cool funk numbers that they have,
it would have been nice to have something a little more upbeat.
Exactly, just to kind of counterbalance that. But we just get the one track, the one song, and it was a hit. That was a big hit at the time.
Well, and it was following Reach Out and Touch, which is something that's a little mellow too. Yeah.
So it would have been nice if we could have gotten something more upbeat. But I'm guessing, of course, who knows if that's all they broadcast or not. But anyway, so we got Kool and The Gang. Oh, and speaking of pre-recorded performances, because again, we're not sure if this was pre-recorded or it was broadcast somewhere else live.
We forgot
with the last segment. That there was a pre-recorded, I guess actually a music video from Norway.
Yeah.
Where they basically...
Stavanger for Africa.
There we go. Where they did basically their country's Band-Aid, basically. Because we've seen that throughout these broadcasts, is these various countries' versions of Band-Aid. their version of Band Aid, where they do their song where all the artists in their country,
Called, in this case, All of Us.
All of Us is the name of the song. Thank you. Where they all kind of get together and sing, and of course they're all singing in a language that we don't understand, but there are subtitles. And of course, it features a huge cast of Norwegian pop artists that we don't know or recognize or know anything about.
And a spectacular field of mullets.
Yes, indeed. The mullets are definitely getting great representation on that one. And so I just wanted to mention that here because, everybody was trying to do their part then. Every country, not every country, but a lot of countries, like I said, came out after Band Aid. The U.S. followed We Are the World, and then other countries followed suit too. This is then followed by a partial performance by Madonna. Unfortunately, the last track gets cut.
And that was featuring the Thompson Twins and Nile Rodgers.
Yeah.
So it's a little surprising that they would cut that.
Yeah, because that's like a big moment. You've got other guest stars up. You'd think if you were going to keep any part of it, that's kind of the finale of her performance. It's a set of 3 songs. So what we do get to hear is we get to hear Holiday and In the Groove, which were both big hits at the time.
Yeah, both fun songs. And she seemed like she was enjoying her performance.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoying her performance. Definitely putting on a very high energy show. You were commenting on the fact that she's clearly singing live. There's a full band there.
And she's dancing.
And she's dancing choreography with the other 2 dancers, and then she's also singing. And that takes I know that when I would sing gigs where I'd like sing 3 to 4 hours a night because I'm doing cover gigs, so much oxygen coming in, that I'd be kind of high just from all the oxygen. I'm sure it did wonders for my longevity. But I'd be kind of high, and I would always say, I once told someone, if someone wants to talk to me about booking, I never talk about it after I'm done performing because I'm too high off the oxygen, and I don't think I can have a good practical business sense at that point. I might be just sure, whatever. But anyways, though, but no, she's doing a really good job, and I should mention that at this time when this was broadcast, when Madonna probably took the stage. I don't remember it because I probably got up and said, let's go get something to eat. It's Madonna. I mean, I had zero interest in Madonna back then. I'm not saying I have any big interest in her now, but it was driven more by prejudice than anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't like whatever it was I thought she stood for at that point in time. I just felt a lot of negativity towards her that had nothing to do with the actual music and more to do with just how I perceived her through the media. Yeah. It's the best I can say. In actuality, I'll say that, Holiday, that song never did much for me then. It doesn't do much for me now. But for instance, Into the Groove, that's a song that I've learned over the years. I've come to enjoy it.
Yeah.
When I hear it, if I hear it playing somewhere, I enjoy it. I've never bought any of her albums. I did actually on this channel review one of her albums. I was kind of doing a thing back then where I was listening to new releases by artists that I wasn't that into and objectively analyzing the songs just because I thought it would be an interesting thing to do and an interesting exploration.
Yeah.
And so I forget what the album was, but it's on this channel buried here somewhere. I don't know. But it was just something I tried doing. But I mean...
we do have an album of hers.
Well, you do. So therefore we do, I guess.
No, actually you borrowed it from a friend who passed away. So we couldn't give it back, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had suggested that I cover... There was a song that she had recorded that you had suggested I cover. So I borrowed it so I could listen to the song. Because you thought it might be a cool idea. It was a cool idea. I'm not going to say what the song was, but it was a cool idea, but I never did cover it, as it turned out. You're right. We do have that one. You don't have any Madonna albums in your own collection? Okay.
My friends had enough to make up for it.
Okay. I think that at the time, I think it was some years later, it was sometime later, where I finally heard a song by Madonna that really made me just go, wow, that's really good. And I'm trying to think, it wasn't Like a Prayer, although I liked that song, but it was off the same album, I'm pretty sure. There was a song she had, there was just this very emotional ballad that I just was like, wow, that's really, really good. And it was the first time I had to basically crash through my prejudices, separate that, and realize, okay, that's just good. You know? Like I said, I was young then. Had a lot of it. That all speaks to just the immaturity of my youth. You know, that's all that was. So anyways, but it's a shame we don't get that last part.
You didn't like Elvis for the same reason, so whatever.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't like Elvis for the same reason in my youth. Yeah, and these things change. And this takes us back to the UK stage for the final performances. There, yes. We have Freddie Mercury and Brian May doing the song "Is This the World We Created?" A song that was off their album Works, but a song that was inspired, or I should say, both Freddie Mercury and Brian May were inspired to write it after they saw news footage coverage of the poverty in Africa.
Yeah.
So highly appropriate. This is just the two of them. It's not billed as Queen. It's the two of them.
Not really. He was playing electric guitar, but you could almost say it was an acoustic performance.
Yeah, you could almost say it was an acoustic performance.
It was very beautiful.
Oh, it was a very beautiful song, yeah. And then we're followed with that by Paul McCartney doing Let It Be. It's the only song he performs. He is joined midway through by David Bowie, Bob Geldof, Alison Moyet, and Pete Townsend. They just do backup for him. It's a great performance. Although, did you notice at the beginning, Townsend is kind of messing with Paul?
Poking him?
He's kind of reaching over and like poking him or something like that. I'm like, what?
Tickling him in the ribs?
Like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, don't mess with him. He's trying to perform. And he's just like, I don't know what it is, but...
no, I have to say, it felt like, from what I saw, it was a very playful atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the artists were enjoying themselves.
It did seem that way, yes. But yeah, it was just kind of like, dude, he's trying to play. Don't mess with him. Anyways, though. But no, it did seem playful. I'm sure there was, I'm guessing there was maybe something backstage.
They were laughing.
There was some.
Had smiles on their faces.
Yeah, there's something, there was more to that than we knew, obviously.
It was not with malicious intent.
No, I don't think so at all. Once this song is over, Bob Geldof walks up to the mic and tells everybody this is probably going to be a bit of a cock-up.
Yes.
Which is British slang for... I'm going to bleep that out. And he says, but if you're going to, you might as well do it in front of billions of people.
Yeah.
And of course, just everybody comes out. Some of them, of course, sang on the original track of Do They Know It's Christmas? Some of them didn't.
And I'm sure there were quite a few strays in there that...
Oh, yeah.
Were cameramen, roadies, whatever.
Yeah. And a lot of people have lyric sheets in their hands.
Which is fine.
Yeah, because they don't know the song.
I mean, they performed it once.
Yeah.
Several months earlier, so.
Geldof covers the parts that Boy George had sung, because he was not there. So he covered those parts.
Yeah.
But otherwise, anybody who was there did the parts that they did on the record. And they all said goodnight to America at that point, once it was done. Geldof said goodnight, America. And the concert continues now with the American stage.
Although I have to say that they cut out some of that ending. Oh. Because there is one moment where Bob Geldof is on Pete Townsend and Paul McCartney's shoulders. And that's kind of what I always think of when I think of Live It.
And, speaking of which, I don't know if you noticed, after, of course, once they start doing that song, Paul McCartney is kind of right behind Bob Geldof. And he is just having a blast. He's shaking his fist and he's jumping up and down. He doesn't know the song. It doesn't matter to him. He's just having fun standing behind Bob Geldof.
Yeah.
And it seems it's just like any.
It was a party atmosphere.
Very much a party atmosphere, and I think it's like, okay, it's done. We did it. At least on the UK side, it's done. It's like everybody's just like, we did this, and but McCartney is just having a blast. He's not doing any of this to get attention.
No,
he's just because if he was, he'd push himself out in front. He's behind Geldof, and we almost weren't sure if it was. I almost said, was that McCartney back there? And you played it back, and we're like, yeah, that is him. But he's just having fun, and it's infectious. Like you said, we've talked about this. When you can tell they're having a good time doing this, it's infectious when you watch it. And but anyways, that brings us back now to the American stage with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. They do 4 songs. They don't cut a single one, which I'm really glad for. American Girl, The Waiting, Rebels, and Refugees. Tom Petty was just scoring so many hits during this time period. Late 70s, early mid 80s. He was just scoring so many hits. Solid band is all I can say. I was kind of surprised they had a horn section.
Yeah, I don't know if there were horn players that just showed up and had learned the parts and appeared for different acts. I hadn't really thought about it or looked. But I do wonder if that had happened, if they just learned the parts so that they could be part of the day.
In other words, there were session horn players there to complement different artists that would be performing that night. And I see what you're saying, because that horn section, they were playing just fine with them, but they didn't look like they were dressed for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
No.
With those lame suits.
Yeah, LeMay doesn't really say Tom Petty.
Yeah, they didn't look like they were part of the band, but they were doing just fine. Like the 2 backup singers that were with Tom Petty, they looked dressed for the band.
Yeah.
They're dressed for that band, But yeah, really just solid band. Great performance. Not much more I can say about that one. They're followed after that, unless there's something else you want to say.
No.
Okay, so they're followed from that with Kenny Loggins. He only does one track. He does Footloose, which, of course, Kenny Loggins, I know he used to be with Loggins and Messina, which is a group that I remember knowing about, but don't really know their music. I think they had the hit single, Your Mama Don't Dance and Your Daddy Don't Rock and Roll. I think that's them. If I'm wrong, please correct me on this here. I just never really, don't think I heard too much of their music, to be honest. Or it's been so long that I've forgotten. But he managed to kind of give himself a second, rebirth as a solo artist. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that he just landed some songs in some huge movies. Yeah. There was this one from Footloose, which I always liked this song right from the beginning. I liked it back then. I like it now. It's a fun song. And then, of course,
guilty pleasure for me.
Okay, guilty pleasure. And then there was, of course, the monster hit, of course, with the film Top Gun, Danger Zone, which I liked then. Probably don't like quite as much now. I mean, I kind of liked it, but I mean, it was a monster hit for him. But I think
Your Mama Don't Dance, by the way, was Loggins and Messina, 1972.
Oh, okay, so I was correct. Okay, thank you for that. I can't think of any other hits they may have had. But my impression of them was that they were more of a folk sounding band. But of course, that song "Your Mama Don't Dance" is actually pretty rock and roll sounding. So maybe I'm wrong about that. I shouldn't talk about Loggins and Messina because I don't really know their music well enough. But he did definitely kind of update himself for the times. At that point,
you mean you weren't into the House at Pooh Corner?
Afraid not. No.
Or Danny's song?
I'm afraid not. Why were you?
No.
But you're willing to sit there and look down on me condescendingly and in judgment, like you should know this.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. You're very good at that.
I am.
It's one of your superpowers. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that he, like ZZ Top, in fact, updated themselves for the 80s and managed to, like, you know, shoot up on the charts during that time period. After that, we get the Cars, and they give us a set of 4 songs. You Might Think, Drive, Just What I Needed, and Heartbeat City. And strong performance by them. Watching them live, I thought a bit about, I can't think of who the lead guitarist is in the band, but I was just reminded of how much I like his lead guitar playing. It's very articulate. Even like on a solo like Candia, which they did not do in this performance, where it's an incredibly lightning fast guitar solo, it's so well articulated. I just really like his style of lead guitar playing, and watching them here just kind of reminded me of that. I hadn't thought about it in a while. Another thing I just wanted to point out, and I'm sorry, I'm just really talking. Is there anything you wanted to say about the Cars?
Not really. I wasn't that into them.
Oh, okay.
They did do the song Drive.
Which you like, I take.
Which is an amazingly beautiful song. But that being said, it always has the images of the famine tied to it.
From the film that was shown earlier from the CBC, which we talked about in the previous segment, where David Bowie told Bob Geldof, "You have to air that." Yeah, and they used that song there. But it is a beautiful song, Drive. It is a very beautiful and very powerful song. Yeah, very powerful song. But yeah, but the other thing I was just going to say about the Cars was that the song "Just What I Needed," which is one of their first hits, maybe. I'm thinking, if not, it's one of their very early hits. Whenever I would listen to that song, I always pictured it was Rick Ocasek singing it, not Elliot Easton. That was just until, of course, I saw it back then, because I remember watching this back in the day, and so it was one of those things. Oh, he's the one that sings it. Oh, okay. Anyways, just one of those things.
Yeah.
And then that kind of ends this chapter of Live Aid. At this point now, we have no more of the UK stage. It's all just the American stage. So coming up next will be Neil Young. After that, and
if they have him in this.
If they have him in it, that's true. We don't know yet. We haven't peeked. We haven't looked ahead. And some artists are getting cut. I was very disappointed that Santana was cut from this.
Yeah.
That we didn't get to see that.
Chapter 9 is next. We only have 2 more left.
Yeah, only 2 more left. So we're almost done with this. And thank you, everybody, for your comments and thoughts and everything. We really appreciate it. As always, if you're enjoying these, click like. It helps a great deal. And let us know your thoughts on the performances. If you've been watching along with us as we do this, let us know your thoughts. And thank you, Patreon supporters. Patreon supporters do get exclusive videos not available here on the channel. In a little bit, you will see some links for some other videos that I've created. I hope you will check those out. I think you might enjoy them. Yeah, there you go. Out of the mouth of babes. Take care. Bye-bye.